And we welcome you back to the Centrum. Angela Gimpu, third place after the first rotation, had an excellent start in the vault, now ready to take to the bars. And remember, Gimpu is the stand-in gymnast and is surprising everyone so far.
Well, she certainly surprised me after that first vault, but I don't think the uneven bars is one of her fortes. She doesn't have quite the strength as her other teammates. There's her first release skill. And by that, I mean the connection down to the low bar, very weak in her form.
Yeah, just a little bit sloppy everywhere and not quite the power or the flight. Little bit of knees right there, bent knees, struggling, but...
Yeah, definitely a struggle throughout, but again, the stuck double layout dismount.
Yeah, we haven't seen a step yet from the Romanians on bar dismounts. It's pretty amazing.
This is the same type of dismount that Gina Gojan performed. Double layout, trademark of the Romanian team, and she nails it right on.
But really not a big scoring routine. Shouldn't be, at least.
9.375 for Gimpu. And now our second look at Donnie Thompson, just 13 years old, 12th place after the first rotation. Let's see if she can bounce back in her second event here after the fall from the bars.
Dan, no question she wants to change things around, but this is the dreaded balance beam, a tough event to come back on, starting extremely well. Front summy on the beam, a blind move, getting set for her acrobatic pass. I'd say she's back on track.
Donnie Thompson, a sparkling resume at the junior level, trying to prove herself on the senior national team.
Coaches Tom and Lori Foster say at times she can be her worst enemy, loses control of her emotions.
I think Lori Foster put it, she has the gold medal in pouting already.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. After a fall in such a big meet, and as Elfie said, beam, it is never easy and always nerve-wracking.
Guys, she is definitely in full control at this point. You know what's so impressive is the beauty of her work. Excellent extension. She has the difficulty setting up for a huge dismount, two back handsprings to a double tuck. Little tiny bit of over rotation, but you can see she's ecstatic.
And relieved after the fall from the bars, Donnie Thompson, the youngest member of this U.S. team, just 13 years old, getting some congratulations from her coaches, Tom and Lori Foster, and a 9.70 for Donnie Thompson. And now chalking up for her bar routine, our first look at Sarah Kane, 16 years old from Grand Island, Nebraska, hoping things go a little better than her vault routine just earlier in the competition.
Well, Dan, unfortunately, in the old days, you could take the best score of 2 vaults, but not that way in today's competition. The rules say both count.
Struggling so hard to hold on to that landing.
That is her coach, Ricardo Appel, trying to pump Sarah up again. She told us before the meet, we asked her if she was nervous, and she immediately shook her head and said, yes, I am very nervous.
Back to business for Sarah, and she's got a huge release planned right here. Excellent. Second release skill, that was a Jaeger in a pike position. She is cruising.
Well, this crowd saw her in tears just a few moments ago in the vault, but they recognized the rebound that Sarah Kane has made now here on the uneven bars.
All right. Good girl. All right.
Awesome releases in this routine. Here's the first one. This is a reverse heck. Look at the height here. She is up there. Incredible.
And a relieved Sarah Kane getting some congratulations from Shannon Miller and Larissa Fontaine. 9.80 on the uneven bars. There is Octavian Belu, the Romanian coach. His team dominating the recent European Championships, winning 8 of 11 golds. That kind of success does not come without complete dedication. He spends most of the year away from his wife and his 15-year-old daughter. He has not had a vacation in 13 years.
Yeah, success just does not happen. He spends his time with his other family and one of his children ready to mount the balance beam right now.
This is Anna Maria Bican, 14 years old.
You know, Dan, the Romanian team and balance beam really go hand in hand. Remember, Nadia was just 14 years old back in '76 when she made history on the balance beam, scoring a perfect 10.
Coaches, judges, athletes, they just marvel at how at home the Romanians are on balance beam. They make it look so effortless.
The first big international meet for Bican, third in the all-around at the '94 Junior European Championships.
You know, we talk about pressure for the American girls, but there's pressure here too. Every time these girls walk out on the floor, they better perform because they're working for the best team in the world, and they might not have that call the next time.
I think part of their secret is the number of routines that they perform in practice. It's endless. This is one of the more popular mounts we're seeing in women's gymnastics today. Front semi very blind, and you can imagine you have to be dead on. That's only 4 inches of balance beam.
Solid routine for Bican and a 9.70. And ready to go on the bars, Larissa Fontaine, 5th after the first rotation. And this is really the apparatus where Larissa feels most comfortable.
This is definitely her forte. What a treat you're in for. One of the most difficult bar routines that's being performed in the world today.
She'll actually do 3 releases in a row in this bar routine. I've been screaming about this young lady for so many years now. Here we go, right here, 3 in a row. Heck, Ginger, and transition to the low bar. I love it.
Release skills in combination, and on top of that, she adds an extremely difficult Arabian double front dismount. What a fantastic routine. That'll be a top score.
Jam-packed, as Elfie says here. 3 releases. Watch this one. Flies in the air. As soon as she's on the bars, let's go again. And watch this. Transition to the low bar. Great gymnastics.
We'll see if Larissa took advantage of her favorite event, the uneven bars. She's one of 2 veterans with world championship experience on this U.S. squad, along with Shannon Miller. Larissa finishing 17th in the all-around at her first Worlds, and a 9.85. Excellent score for Larissa. She continues to chase Shannon Miller in the individual competition, along with the Romanian squad, and that challenge to Shannon could come from any of the Romanians, including Gina and Milo. Back with more gymnastics in a moment. Welcome back to Worcester. There's Romanian coach Octavian Bellu working with his team as he has for the past 14 years. He inherited the system from Bela Karolyi and has kept the tradition alive since Karolyi came to America. And to Bellu, the team is really a family.
Because we have this system to keep the girls together all the time. And to stay together and to work together and to be what I said before, 24 hours a day, to be together, it's more than one family. I feel like a father with 13 or 15 daughter. Our girls are not like all other gymnasts. They are not robots. They are not machines. They are human beings.
Forging a world power with a group of teenagers can be a challenge, but in Romania, traditions run deep. Here's our Marianne Grabavoy.
It's a town called Deva in a place called Transylvania. Away from their families since the age of 6, the girls have become sisters. Sisters, playing, sharing, growing together in a place, a time filled with self-discovery. Fleeting, carefree moments in the waning days of a demanding childhood. In this remote corner of Romania, the road to glory begins. In a valley always protected by the Carpathian Mountains, this is the cradle of Romanian gymnastics. A national training center, but so much more. From the mountains springs a life force in a country whose national identity was forged by a 14-year-old named Nadia. Her name, her spirit, her mantle of glory was worn by an entire nation. Nadia had the heart. Bella Caroli, the master, had the fire in his eyes. And together, they created a legacy. A legacy that lives and breathes in these tiny bodies. Like an opus rich in variation and color, Romanian gymnastics has changed through the years. Look to the podium at any Olympics or Worlds, and you'll see the face of a nation. They are stout-hearted little souls pressed into action, but now no longer as tools of a repressive communist regime. The forces of real life would beat at the doors of Deva, the sanctuary for Romania's young gymnasts.
The rolling revolution sweeping through Eastern Europe hit with full force in Romania this morning.
Army units returned sniper fire from the courtyard.
It was the bloodiest street fighting Europe has seen since World War II. This, no velvet revolution.
Nicolae Ceausescu had stood on a balcony for the last time. He was shouted down, and his soldiers had opened fire on the crowd. They chanted, "Ceausescu is no more." They had waited 24 years for this.
By morning's light, the cheering had faded. Freedom fighters, yes, but children first. Today, Bucharest is a place where every Sunday, parents clean the graves of their children. Where the scars of war are for all to see. Sharing with the world the nightmare of thousands of orphaned and abandoned children. In vacant eyes, a hollow reflection of a nation's soul ripped from its being. Yet today, Romania is a place of hope. It's a nation of believers, a people whose faith has remained, but so too have the scars. Far Far from the streets of Bucharest, in the distant Carpathian Mountains, is the life force of Deva. Here is the evidence Romania hasn't forgotten its children. 4.5 years after the revolution, the nation is awakening. The long journey has begun. And once again, it is the children who will lead the way. Romania is a nation seeking identity, a nation looking for respect in this new world order, a nation desperately trying to ease the wounds of the past. And it is those who have suffered most, the children, who will put a new face on this Romania. It is the gymnasts, the little girls with bodies of sprung steel, who will lead. They are Romania's jewels. They are the portraits of hope. Like the famous one who went before her, Nadia Hatagan hopes to inspire those who follow, but also to live up to the name she bears. Gina Gozin, hers the face of confidence. 16 years old, Romania's star in waiting. She left home at the age of 7 to pursue her dreams. Andreea Kokovan misses her brothers. Her family visits every 6 weeks. But when they leave, she says, she cries. And the big sister, Milo, the Olympic hero. Her name echoes through the playgrounds of Romania. She has taught them all that even today, when so much has changed, the dream lives on.
Daunting responsibility indeed for a young 17-year-old Milo. The gymnasts have been challenged, and so has that man, Octavian Belu.
He tells us literally dozens of his top coaches have left the country since the revolution.
Second after one rotation, now trying to gain ground on Shannon Miller.
So far, an awesome start to her competition on the uneven bars. Let's see if she can keep the flow going, but this mount is tricky. Tricky, difficult, and a huge error. That takes her out of the competition in the individual.
Even this early in the competition with still 2 events to go?
Half a point when you fall off the beam. It's over for her all-around chances.
We just saw her amid the celebration in Barcelona in the '92 Olympics. A gold medal winner there, a double gold medal winner there, but once again, she will see another chance at an all-around title go by the wayside here.
And you know, Dan, those individual event titles, they obviously mean something, but every top gymnast dreams of that all-around title. I'd be willing to bet just about anything that she'd trade every single individual event championship for just one big all-around title.
We watched the showdown between Milo and Shannon at the World Championships. This has been her nemesis all year long, the balance beam.
And you know, Elfie, you do the big risky tricks to get the big score, but when you make a mistake, you get the big deduction. And her mount, it all started going wrong right in the beginning, I think. You can see right there, she's off to the right of your screen right from the beginning. I think it starts right on the round off. Let's see if she's square at the end of this half turn. No, she's already off right there. It is just no way she can pull herself back on that beam.
Take a closer look at her hand placement. I mean, she was fighting tooth and nail here, trying to pull herself back on, but it was just not going to happen. Right hand's on, left hand, but the body position, as you mentioned, Tim, well off to the left side.
And the score for Milo, a 9.2. So Milo out of the individual competition. Says she loves being the leader of this team. We'll have to cheer on her teammates for the individual challenge to Shannon Miller, perhaps. This is Nadia Hatagan, 9th after one rotation. And she'll take to the bars.
Nadia certainly didn't have an easy time on the vault. As we mentioned before, she looks awfully tired here at this competition. Bars is one of her best events. She does some very interesting work on the high bar.
Same dismount, double front. And once again, a little bit locked-legged on the landing.
You know, Tim, that was an identical landing to Milo. The stiff leg landing, that really hurts the knees.
And as Nadia makes her way back to her teammates, you can almost sense that the score will not be exactly what Nadia had hoped for. But there's another Nadia in the house, and right now she is with our Marianne Grabovoi.
Joining me now is the lady who made Romanian gymnastics known all over the world, Nadia Comaneci. What was it like to live and train in Deva?
I moved there in 1977 and I stay until 1981. That was great. This is a beautiful complex and everything is paid for. Your parents doesn't have anything to deal with if you're going to be at home, and it's just a family. That's the place that you belong, and that's where you want to be.
The girls talk about a sense of family. Was it like that for you?
It is a family because that's what they know. That's why they stay there, because they love the sport. They have a lot of support from the family, and I don't think they will like if they will be taken away and let them live with the family. They enjoy very much because this is their family.
How important was living and training at the center in terms of your success as a gymnast?
I think it's very important. First of all, being there, it gives you a lot of power. You have a lot of confidence. You know, there are only 12 girls who stay there in the complex. They are the only girls in the country that they can do, that nobody can do. So you feel powerful over everybody, and that's why I think they like to do that.
Lasting impressions of Deva for you?
I'll be back in November. So this is the biggest surprise. That will be my first visit to Romania. So I'm just wait to go there. They're going to name the arena after me, so I'm happy for that.
What an honor.
Yes, I'm very happy.
A long way from Deva and a remarkable journey for you.
That's right, yes.
Thank you, Nadia.
You're welcome.
And we'll watch and see, along with Nadia, to see if Gina Gojen can step up for the Romanians today. More gymnastics coming up. Our first look at Mariana Webster, 15 years old, born in Joplin, Missouri, now lives in Oklahoma City, where she is trained by Steve Nuno the past 3 years. Before that, she was with Bella Caroli.
You know, Dan, you're going to see a lot of similar qualities to Shannon Miller, and why not? She works right alongside Shannon Miller in Oklahoma.
Her second year on the senior national team.
First major tumbling run. She told me it's an honor to compete in this competition with Shannon and Milosevic.
She also told us, Tim, her goal here was to stay clean. Nothing spectacular, but no mistakes.
And that's exactly what she's doing so far.
Very impressive work so far. As you mentioned, she's clean, neat. Of course, that's very much the way that Shannon Miller works. She pays specific attention to such small details, a big dismount, round off, double back, and that was the routine that she wanted.
Really composed for such a young athlete. I'm really impressed with her.
There's that tumbling pass that we saw early on in the routine. Back handspring to 2 consecutive layouts, bang on, shoulders, hips, everything well aligned.
Look at just how critical exact placement is. She's flipping over, folks, doing a complete backflip, and those feet somehow, they got to find that 4-inch piece of beam.
Mariana Webster, 9.775. This just her second international competition. Meanwhile, the veteran of the United States squad, Shannon Miller, the recipient of the Budget Service Award given to Shannon based on her leadership and contributions in community service. And right now, Shannon Miller trying to lengthen her lead in the individual competition.
Let's go now.
You hear her coach Steve Nuno instructing her on the last minute before she takes to the bars. Shannon, the back-to-back national champion, along with her back-to-back world titles.
She's got a great release combination right off the bat. She'll do a full twist over the bar. Get some speed here, right into another release. Right on.
And then, Tim, she has another move right here, which she just missed. She unveiled a new move at the World Championships, but quick thinking on Shannon's part.
But she looks a little bit lost now, Elfie, to be honest. She is basically just making things up as she goes along here. Had to totally change her routine. Oh, and just barely squeaks that one around.
How to improvise there, dude.
You can hear Steve Nuno talking about the improv we've just seen by Shannon Miller on the bars.
It was a great start to the routine, a move that Shannon made famous. Full twisting hop giant. She unveiled this at the World Championships. Right into a release skill. That was the Miller, but the move she had problems with was right here. She was supposed to do a 180, followed by another 360 turn to the low bar, but that's where she improvised.
And she really does look like she doesn't know what to do here, and finally she kind of gets her wits about her and says, well, just keep going, Shannon. Really, though, there are some deductions in here. And I can't believe she made this. She just like jammed those feet into the ground.
And with that ad lib in that routine, it'll be interesting to see the score at 9.75.
She got through the routine, but 9.75 is a little bit high.
So after 2 rotations, Shannon Miller finds herself in a tie with Larissa Fontaine, who probably thought she would end up with a little bit better cushion. Also eyeing in the individual competition, Gina Gauguin, but what is she doing? Taking a bath, it looks like.
Well, she's making a mess, Dan. Yeah, that's what she's doing. Actually, the chalk will help her grip that balance beam a little bit better, both with her hands and her feet. But I have to tell you, in a competition, a lot of times it helps the athlete kind of calm themselves down, gives them something to do, takes their mind off of all that stress.
She has an opening here with her teammate Milo falling off the beam. She could be the one that leads the Romanian charge.
No question, this is watch out for Gina Gauguin. We talked about her being the quiet one. She has a dynamite balance beam routine planned, so setting up now for her first tumbling pass. It'll take the full length of the beam. Combination of layout and a huge mistake. She was supposed to connect it through to another element.
Basically just stopped midstream there. Some uncharacteristic falls from the Romanians on beam there, but that one is solid as you can possibly be.
She was second to Shannon Miller in the all-around at the '93 Worlds. That was two years ago. She did receive a silver medal on this apparatus, the balance beam, in that competition.
Almost finished with this exercise, just the dismount, combination back handsprings to double back. Solid on the dismount, but a serious mistake early on in the routine.
So Gina Gauguin with a chance to make up some big ground here, not getting the kind of performance she would have liked.
Yeah, all of our main stars that we figured on really not stepping up to the plate, all of them having at least a small mistake thus far.
And the score for Gina, 9.675. So the individual competition, the standings after 2 rotations, Larissa Fontaine and Shannon Miller of the United States, and Nadia Hatagan moving up big from 9th to 4th. As far as the team standings are concerned, the Americans edging up just a bit on the Romanians. And we expected Shannon Miller to